Hi there! Welcome to Building a Container House on a Budget, Part 2. Getting more exciting. We got windows going in. We got the start of our spiral staircase going. And I'm going to walk you through the process as I did in the first video. We are very excited. At this point, we're just about ready to move in and get out of those two 40-foot RV trailers that we are tired of. And I also want to explain that starting out with containers like this, you start out with 4 walls, a roof, and a floor. Now here I am sealing up the 3rd floor of the spiral staircase housing. We have plans to put a 3rd floor on it, but we don't have the containers for the 3rd floor, so I'm enclosing it temporarily, and I'm going to put a door in it so that we can walk out onto the top of the 2nd floor and then admire our view over the desert. Here I am welding it on. I'm actually just stitching it on so that we can seal it up so it don't leak. Here we are looking at the top of the spiral staircase housing. And now we're getting ready to put our ceiling rafters in. Here I am welding those tabs on to hold the rafters. We got the rafters in, and now we're starting to do some electrical and put the light fixtures or the light receptacles in. And there's our pile of insulation that we're going to put in the walls and in the ceiling. And you can see there's our shower. It was a used shower. We had to be really careful with what money we spent to build this house. And in some or most cases, we had to make do. So here's the back container for the 2nd floor that's getting ready to go on. We did not have that when we put the first part of this house together. So like I said, we had to purchase these containers one at a time as we could afford it. And you can see here I got my 2x4s there and my pipe. I have to put the 2x4s there so the pipe don't have to roll across that corrugated roof. And we're getting ready to lift it up in the same manner that we did with the gray container. Just opposite. There we go. We got it stacked on top. Now we got to push it on the rest of the way. Here we are getting a game plan together. You can see my little helpers there on the right. As you can see, the back porch light is on, so we do have power in the house, in parts of it. Now here we are pushing that container on. Almost there. And touchdown. At this point, me and the family are getting very excited. These 2 top containers will house 4 bedrooms and 1 bath. And all the kids' rooms will be on that 2nd floor. And we have 4 kids that are currently living with us. There's my little helpers there at the end. Here we are getting the 2x4s out and the pipe out and set down this other end. There we go, it's in place. The container you see coming off the back of this house is actually just a storage for extra stuff that we might have. As you can see, we kind of have a blank canvas on this house, getting ready to cut all the windows in and build all the bay windows. There we are, starting to cut out the bedroom windows upstairs. These windows are roughly 5 feet tall by 7 feet wide on the kids' bedroom windows. Ta-da! There I am welding in the angle iron frame that the bay window will bolt to. Like I said, this is made to be torn back down and moved at a later date. Here we are cutting out another window in the kids' bedroom area. Cleaning out the paint around the edges so I can have a nice weld, because I have to seal weld this all the way around so it don't leak. There we go. We got 2 openings for 2 bedrooms. And then we plywooded them up so that weather wouldn't get in until I got the bay window housings framed up. Here we are framing the wall. Like I said in my first video, our studs are every 11 inches and away from the corrugation of the container so that we can insulate behind the 2x4 and in between the 2x4. This here is 2x2s. I screwed 3 washers on one side, 2 on the other, and welded them to the interior wall to try to give us a little extra room. I just needed something to screw the plywood to. Here we are starting to get all the rooms framed in and get the electrical ran. Each bedroom is 12 feet long by 8 feet wide. They will all have a big bay window, and eventually they will all have their own walk-in closet. There's my little helper there telling me what I need to do next. And there he is handing me my tools. He's our little big helper. As you can see, we got some stock back there with bunches of insulation and stuff because we live about 4 hours from the closest Lowe's or Home Depot. So when we leave town, we try to get as much as we can. All this work we're doing so far in this video is on the 2nd floor, preparing the 4 bedrooms. There's Jacob and my youngest daughter, Electra. Now we're getting ready to mount the toilet in the 2nd floor. And I put a little piece of OSB there so I can mount the toilet because we don't have enough OSB to cover that floor yet. And the reason why we're going to cover that floor with OSB is because I need to come up an extra 3/8 of an inch to cover the outside lip of the container where I cut the wall off, because I didn't want to cut out any extra structure if I didn't have to. There's my son helping me make sure everything's held steel so I can nail it all together. And this is looking at the wall from inside the bathroom. And there's our toilet. Not working yet. I just hope the kids know that. And there's our tub shower that was used, that we had purchased. Actually, we got it for free. Like I said, we're just trying to build this house as cheap as we can. There's my son Preston standing in his room. Now we're laying out the plumbing for the bathroom and the electrical. here I am wondering, why do I got 3 boxes here? I'm just kidding. I know why. So we elevated the tub on the second floor so we didn't have to run the plumbing through the floor of this container. And behind the sink and the toilet on this bathroom, you'll see along the floor that the wall is brought out a little bit for the plumbing and the drainage. And then it all goes out in one spot on the outer wall there. That way, if there was any repairs to ever be done, all I had to do is take off that little section off of the floor and fix anything that might go wrong. Alright, there's the drain for the sink that's going to go in there, along with the drain for the tub. Got the step that goes into the tub in there. Eventually we'll get this all tiled. Make it look as nice as we can. Getting the sheeting done inside the bathroom. That square hole is for the exhaust vent. There you can see the plumbing running along the floor. Another thing I want to mention too is we tried to keep all of our hot and cold water lines and hot water heater all in a centralized area. So this bathroom is literally just over the bathrooms that are on the first floor, being over the master bedroom and over the guest bathroom. That way when you was to run the hot water, you didn't have to run 5 gallons of water to get hot water. We tried to be as smart as we could about all of this and try to centralize all this stuff. You can see here the electrical coming out of the second floor. Each electrical line there supplies a bedroom or a bathroom, so they're all on their own circuit breaker. At this point we're getting very excited because we're almost ready to move in. There's the bathroom, somewhat completed with a working toilet and a working shower. We finally get to take showers now. We did do a primer sealer on this wood to try to keep it dry from kids splashing or getting out all wet until we can get it tiled. Now we're back on the first floor inside the kitchen. We're getting the countertop in. As soon as the countertop is in, oh, there's my lovely daughter, Leandra. But as soon as this countertop is in and we get the sink in and plumbed in, we're moving in. Every minute I had, I was working on this house trying to get this done so that we could get moved out of those 40-foot trailers. Plus my family was pushing me to get it done. There, we got the sink in. It's siliconed in and clamped underneath. I just got some C-clamps holding the edges down so the silicone can dry. That way water can't get up underneath it and ruin our countertop. Don't forget to give us a like if you want more. Alright, there's my wife putting a little finishy touches on the kitchen as far as we can go for now. Above the windows we're going to build some metal shelves to house those glass jars. Now at this point we are moved in, but now we have to continue building while we're living in this house. Now here I am building the bay windows for the house. Every bedroom and living room will have a bay window just like this. The master bedroom and the living room bay windows are a little bit bigger than the kids' bedroom windows. Now with having the house closed up the way we do, I can weld inside and do all my grinding and cutting and welding without the wind affecting me or the welds. And all these bay windows will bolt to the house and can be unbolted when we get ready to move. That way everything goes down the road 8 feet wide. At this point, we're not sure where we're going to move to. I put the pipes in the corners of the angle so there wasn't a gap. And I'm doing the same thing to the roof of this as I did with the spiral staircase. Get everything tacked really good before you weld it out so it don't move. That way everything stays square. All of the bay windows are 5 feet tall, even in the living room and the master bedroom, but they are a little bit wider. They're about 8 feet wide instead of 7 feet like the kids' bedroom. Now here we are, we cut this 20-foot container in half, and this is going to be our front entryway. And I do try to hammer out all the dents on these containers to try to make it look as straight as we can. And I spent hours and hours getting these dents knocked out. Some of the containers that we ordered, I did not get to see them. And they were pretty dented up. So I had to do a lot of extra straightening. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to flare the sides of this container out at a 45-degree angle because we didn't want this house to look boxy. So I'm starting to flare out the edges there at a 45-degree angle. I had to do some relief cuts so that it would push out easier, and then I will weld them relief cuts so that it don't leak. The only access into our house right now is just the back door, and this is going to be our front door, front entryway. And there I am getting the top of that all braced and supported. So we're just getting this to the point where we can at least get it mounted to the front of the house, and then I can get it finished up. I still have some triangles there at the top that I got to get filled in. There's my youngest son, Preston, making sure I'm doing this right and getting everything aligned. You can see I got some temporary supports there that I can set the front entryway container on. Almost there. All right. Now that we got it fitted up next to the house, I can start cutting out the side of the container where the entryway is going to go. And I'm using a plasma cutter to do this. A plasma cutter cuts really clean, and it cuts really fast, and it does not warp the metal. And then you just do a light grinding to clean up the edges. There's like one cool dude there. My kids were so excited, and so was my wife, that this house was moving forward and that we were getting it done. Okay, I'm having to move the entryway away and then refit it just to make sure we get everything lined up just the way we wanted it. Looks like the boss isn't too pleased. Oh, maybe he is. Now we're cutting out the window for the living room, for the bay window to go in. Welding in my angle iron frame that the bay window is going to bolt to. And when I put that bay window against that angle iron frame, I'm going to silicone it. And that's what's going to prevent it from leaking between the two pieces there. Now we're starting to install the windows. So these windows were given to us as well, and we only got 5 of them. But it gave us a beginning to start where we wanted, how big we wanted our openings to be. And so that ended up being the measurement for all the windows, all the bay windows. I still have 5 more bay windows to build. And they will all take the same size windows. The spiral staircase housing windows will be 3 foot by 4 foot tall, and there will be 20 of them. There you can see the house starting to take shape. And then on the edges of the bay window, I just put sheet metal. And later I'll put some kind of fancy design on the outside of that sheet metal. Here we are getting the living room ceiling rafters in. I got them spaced every 2 feet. Same with the entryway. We're trying to get all this done and insulated before winter comes, so that we're not freezing while we're living in there. So right now the only access to the second floor is that ladder right there. And my wife is afraid of heights. She had gotten better over time though. There we go, the living room's getting insulated. Getting all the pieces cut and ready. And there you have it, one wall put together and screwed on. Now we're doing the ceiling in the master bedroom. This is from the entryway looking into the master bedroom, but there will be a solid wall there eventually. And here I am building the second bay window for the master bedroom, which will be identical to the living room bay window. Right here I'm matching up the frame that's going to be welded into the container to the bay window and drilling the holes. That way when I get it up next to that framework after it's welded in, it just bolts right in. Here I am cleaning the paint around the edges and cleaning up the edge so that I can have a nice clean weld. Okay, the angle iron is welded in. And there you have it, the bay window's installed. Like I said, we only had 5 of these windows, so I had to put a piece of plywood in the other opening. Now we get to the fun part. We're going to install the exercise pole. I'm sorry, I mean the spiral staircase pipe. That is an 8-inch pipe, and it's not quite to the height of the spiral staircase yet. I still have to weld on 7 more feet because it is 27 feet from the base to the top of the spiral staircase. So we used a winch here with a snatch block at the top, and we actually pulled that pipe up into place, my wife and I. And here I am trying to get it centered. You can see a circle on the floor and little marks where the steps are going to be marked out, and that's where I calculated the steps. Here we are in the master bedroom getting it framed. You can see the exercise pole, the spiral staircase pole in the background. And there's the wall that's going to close off the master bedroom from the entryway and the spiral staircase. Getting the bedroom all framed in. And that's it for now. Please give us a like and please subscribe so we can bring you some more of these videos.